Hey, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to all my friends around the world and all my staff and my colleagues. I guess we're using these challenging times to reflect on our personal lives, on our jobs. We're looking at the type of relationships we have with our clients and our suppliers. Most of the time where I get called in to turn a business around as a consultant, the first thing I do is I look at the employees right from the bottom, from a receptionist to their driver and all the way to the top to the CEO, to see if they're the kind of people who want more out of their lives, or they're going to dance with me in turning the business around into profit. The best way I can describe this and the type of people I'm looking for is to share with you a story that I never forget with Tiger Woods. 25 years ago, I was at the airport in New York and I was waiting for my flight, and there was this 17-year-old kid that his picture was all over the magazines, and I was wondering who this Tiger Woods character was. And lo and behold, on CNN, there was a live interview of Tiger Woods. And just before interviewing him, they were talking about how he's going to be the next Jack Nicklaus. And until that time, lots of young golfers were coming along and people were saying, is this person going to be the next Jack Nicklaus? And I was like, yeah. And then I heard the interview with Tiger Woods and it blew me away. The interviewer turned around to Tiger and said, hey, listen, you've been smashing the park with all the amateurs. You're doing so well and you're untouchable. What are you going to do? The whole responsibility and all the pressure of the world is on your shoulders to be the next Jack Nicklaus or even better. People are saying you're going to be the greatest golfer ever lived. How do you cope at such a young age with that pressure? And do you know what he said? He said, the pressure that I have externally is nothing like the pressure I put on myself. I just sat there looking at the TV screen thinking, this guy is going to be outstanding. He is going to be the next golfer. Is going to set all the scenes and all the standards way higher than Jack Nicklaus had ever done. And lo and behold, he did too. He actually won a record number of Opens, but unfortunately, his career took a dive when he lost focus. So, today, what I'm going to discuss with you is the kind of people that I want to do business with, have in my personal life, and also have as employees. I call these guys my superstars. Now, superstars have certain characters. I love working with superstars. Let me share them with you. Superstars, they are relentless people. If you can take notes, it'd be really good. Also, my staff are recording this live event as well, so we will send them to you later on. We can go into my Instagram account. But it's really important to take notes now because you tend to remember things a little bit better. Superstars are people who are relentless. They are clever. I want to work with people who are smart, who actually have a self-driven enthusiasm to learn. They want to grow as human beings. They're relentless. They set their goals so high up that they never ever stop or relax. They're relentlessly seeking more in their lives. They have higher standards than anybody else. Also, they're entertaining. One of the key strengths to a superstar is that they like to be associated and linked to others. They like connecting with people. Now, if they're entertaining, not to the point of being a joker, but if they're entertaining as a character, people tend to actually associate with them more. So superstars tend to be entertaining. They're persuasive. Because of the enthusiasm and the character, people want to be part of their lives. They can persuade you to join them. Many times in our organization, our clients come in and they sit at reception and they love the way the energy in the office is. So when they sit down, they've already decided they're going to go ahead with us. And all we do is, as superstars, we persuade them to sign that form. And we won't let them down. They will never regret it. The most important thing is superstars have got to be persuasive. Also, they have a high level of communication. Have you ever Have you ever asked somebody to do something, or even gave them a lead or a connection to someone, and they never come back to you? And you're always wondering, I wonder what happened to that deal. And then years later, or weeks later, or months later, you find out that the deal was done, the connection was done, but nobody let you know. Have you ever given a task to somebody and you have to chase them to find out that's been done? With a superstar, you never have to do that. They keep you informed. How I call it is that it's like monkeys on your back. I noticed that some of my staff are listening. Every single day you come to work, you carry a bunch of monkeys on your back. And the whole job or the whole responsibility of you as a leader is to pass these monkeys on. And your staff should be able to take them on and take care of your monkeys. So when you go home, you got less monkeys on your back that you came into work with. Unfortunately, most organizations that I work with, or sometimes my own, is that the people who work with you who are not superstars, they just throw the monkeys back on your shoulders. So by the end of the day, you're going home with more monkeys on your back than you started with. And a heck of a lot of it is through communication. Actually, communication is key through your personal life as well, because you never have to guess what's going to happen next if you're constantly communicating about your emotions, your feelings, about your challenges and your successes. Superstars, they manage your time very well. They manage their time well. The only difference between myself and Bill Gates, apart from $150 billion, is that he manages time better than I do. He is more effective with his time. When he has meetings, his meetings never last more than 2 or 3 minutes. So can you imagine, you're waiting in line and one of his 3 secretaries comes to you and says, "Hi, your interview with Bill Gates is for 3 minutes. Now, what are you going to say? Are you going to sit down with him and say, 'Hi, Mr. Gates, how was your weekend?'" No, because by the time he's answered it, your 3 minutes is over. So by the way he manages his time, he manages his efficiency. So if you want to be successful, manage your time better. The only thing that we have in common with Bill Gates is the time that he has. He's just more efficient with his time. So when you're hiring superstars, you don't need to tell them how to territory manage. You don't need to tell them to not to go from here another 40 kilometers to the next appointment. They manage the territory better, so they make sure they have 7 or 8 appointments in the same location, so they become more productive. Also, superstars adapt quickly. We have a very interesting interview process where when people come in to meet with me, we do group interviews, but we don't tell them it's a group interview. So they come in thinking that they're going to meet me at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they arrive hopefully early, they sit, and suddenly they realize that there's 6, 7 other people asking for the same time slot to meet me on the appointment, on the interview. We monitor, the receptionist is trained to monitor how they adapt to the situation, because nothing ever goes according to plan. You know, when somebody says, "I'm a perfectionist," that's the worst standard you could set yourself, because perfectionists are never ever happy. Superstars adapt to situations. Like right now, my superstar sales manager is right now prospecting. He's picking and choosing who's going to call when this is over, and this soon shall be over. It's really how you can adapt to it. Remember last week I said that it's not the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of the most adaptable person. And superstars bring it on, they love it. Also, they like practicing. There's a saying that says, practice makes perfect. I actually think practice makes permanent. See, if you practice something that's really bad and you keep saying it, you become very good at it. You become very strong at it. So, for instance, a salesperson phones up and says, "Hi, how are you?" That's a really bad thing they've practiced, because the answer could be really negative and taken in the wrong direction. Or they could phone up and say, "Hello, is this a good time?" Of course it's not a good time for the prospect. They're not expecting your call. But that's something people say to actually fill the gap. And these are things that they practice that are not very good, and they don't actually serve them well. I have this chart, which I would like you to take notes. It's learning, and also practice. The more you practice, the more you learn. So the curve goes this way. And I say this is the arrow to mastering. What we do is, when I teach a skill in our organization, I urge my staff to keep practicing. So they go, yes, Mr. Dariush, yes, Mr. Dariush. They go away for about half an hour. They come back and say, we practiced. But I think what they have to do is they practice this for 10 days. Too often, somebody puts somebody through a training course for an hour and then they send them to the prospects. And they go and absolutely ruin good prospects because they're practicing in the marketplace. And it's costing the organization their reputation, their money, their cost, and also lost potential business also. So if you have an organization or you are going to be, you want to be a master in a certain skill, be very enthusiastic toward learning and keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you learn, and then you'll conquer mastery. Because if you're a master at something, you become confident. And when you're confident, you walk into a meeting and you're prepared for anything they throw at you. Okay. Superstars always looked at positive. They're very optimistic people. So if you're looking to hire superstars, look at their level of optimism, right? Are they doom and gloomers? How many times I sit down with people and they talk about this current situation like it's the end of the world? It is not the end of the world. You know, when the Hiroshima bomb was dropped in 1945, there was 2 bombs, atomic bombs dropped. There was 6 years of World War, 1914 to 1918, First World War. Millions and millions of people died. It was not the end of the world. The stock market's grown more successful than ever before. The internet's come along. I really believe in the human race, and I do believe that we will go through this quicker than you could imagine. But if you're sitting with people, doom and gloomers, and they're talking about the humanity's survival, walk away. You don't want these people in your life. So I'm always looking for optimism. Optimistic people attract positivity in their lives. They attract positive energy, positive customers. It's incredible how when I have a pessimistic staff working for me or some of my clients, they actually attract pessimism. So bad salespeople tend to bring, or weak salespeople tend to bring bad clients into your organization. And positive people attract positivity. Optimistic people will love you, will love your values, and they will love your company. Wouldn't it be a better world where you could actually meet with someone and they don't bring their baggage and negativity from the past into your organization? They actually read and invest and listen to you. They love your products, they love your values, they read all about your organization. Here's the thing, have I hired people who've stolen from me? Absolutely. Have I hired people who've lied to me? Absolutely. You know, but it doesn't stop me hiring people. And it's the same thing, when you come into our organization, don't bring your past negativity or challenges or obstacles into your life, because what chance do we have to go forward? So always look at recruiting people who absolutely embrace your values. And I'm hoping your values are going to be amazing like ours, like honesty, communication, decency, over succeeding, over delivering, expectations, speed stunts. If you believe in those values, we can dance together. We can actually achieve massive things. And when 2 wavelengths are in synergy, they become very, very powerful. But too often, the 2 wavelengths don't meet. So they're in conflict. And what do you get? You get a flat line. Superstars outperform others in a short time. What does that mean? Many organizations expect you to be there years to succeed, or is survival of the person who's been the longest. In most organizations, especially now, when you hire a superstar like myself, I like to think I'm a superstar. And I'm not particularly smart, intelligent, but what it is, I'm very hungry, I'm very driven, and I've got massive goals. So no matter what organization hires me, I will become a superstar no matter what business they're in. I don't have to know the ins and outs of the product or the ins and outs, the detail of what I'm selling. All I recognize that being a superstar salesperson is not about human connection. If they like and trust you, they will buy from you. So what you'll find that superstars outperform others in a very short period of time. That means they will outsell someone in a very short period of time, even people who've been there for many, many years. Often what you find in organizations who weren't very careful at who they were recruiting, the people who've been there many, many years will start sabotaging their superstars' work and how effective they've been. So what you're looking at doing is you're looking at hiring people who are great achievers. One of the things I get asked is, what if I hire this guy? He's not going to stay long. Because I'm looking at his CV and he job hops all the time. I don't care. Hire someone in 1 year, 6 months. They will sell more than most of your salespeople put together. So I'd rather have that person, guy or girl in my organization, for a short period of time than having somebody who's mediocrity over a longer period. Leading to what's happening now. Superstars love difficult situations. So they perform well at bad or difficult circumstances. Anyone can perform well when people are spending money. Anyone can sell when there's demand in the marketplace. That's not salespeople. Superstars go out there and make money today. We're actually working right now on providing a service that the country and the world currently demands. Because my superstar team came to me and said, hey, listen, Mr. Dariush, our bricks and mortar businesses, our clinics, our retailers, our mall clients aren't spending anymore. But there's a huge demand for online business. So over the next few days, we're going to launch a huge mobile app, e-commerce, affordable business applications and development department that's going to take the world by storm. Right now, when people aren't making money, we're going to wipe the floor marketplace with our new product launches. And that was the idea of some of our superstar developers who saw an opportunity in a tough marketplace. Superstars have a desire. Superstars have a desire to want more. They're never settled. One of the downside of being successful is complacency. When people are hungry, it's boxers, for instance. It's a lot tougher to get to become the world number one than it is to stay there. Because when you're there, everybody's hungry, wants to become world number one. The most important thing is when you're there to stay there. So that's why boxers like Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, they're the greatest boxers ever lived because they managed to stay at the top for a longest period of time. Superstars have that desire. They want to get a car. And then when they get that car, they want another one, a better one. They get a boat, they want a faster boat. They fly to economy, they want to fly business, then they go to first, and they want to have their own private jet. It's doable. And that's the kind of people you want to hire. When people said, set realistic goals, what is realistic? If you were realistic, the Wright brothers would have created the aeroplane, because who would have thought a 50-ton piece of metal will fly across the seas? Because that's a realistic goal, right? So sometimes in life you have to put... I got a notification saying that it's on pause. Hopefully you can all still see me. If you can, just send me a message. Right, thank you. Can you all see me? My account froze. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to make a decision that no more mediocrity. Make a list. Make a list of people who work for you, make a list of people you have as friends, and make a list of people that you work for. If they are mediocrity, if they're just happy for being of low standard, eliminate them out of your life. Guess what? You'll be spending time trying to motivate them. You'll be trying to spending a lot of energy, trying to get them motivated. You'll be deflated. And above anything else, the time that you have is the most precious commodity that you have. The time that you spend with them, you can never get back. So make sure that you eliminate mediocrity out of your life and you only attract superstars. Okay, so what drives a superstar? I believe it's two things. One is ego, and the other is empathy. Superstar. It's a fine balance. Ego is an incredible driving force. Because if you have an ego, you have a desire to succeed. And if your desire is not strong enough, if you're not confident enough, and the other person in front of you decides not to buy your products or hire you, and you're weak, you don't have that ego, they walk all over you, and the next person will get it. But at the same time, if we're too egotistic, you become arrogant. So you need a fine balance of ego and empathy. If you have too much empathy, you become too soft. Somebody says to you, well, you know, your prices are too high, or this is not the right time, let me think about it. Somebody who actually believes in other people's reasons not to buy, or when they're going through an emotional turmoil, because decision making is an emotional process. When somebody's going to buy something, they're thinking inside, in the internal dialogue, am I making the right decision or not? Somebody with too much empathy, when the client's going, well, let me think about it, the first thing they'll do, they'll feel the pain of that emotional trauma. They'll jump in and say, well, don't rush your decision, and take your time and call me. Or the client says, well, I don't make quick decisions right now, so I'll take your proposal and I'll give you a call. And the guy says, okay, thank you very much. Or they go for an interview and they say, have I got the job? And you say, no, and I'll think about it. Just get up and walk out. Or when somebody phones up asking for a job and we put them through we screening them and we give them one objection and they go, well, thank you very much, goodbye. They don't have enough ego to press it through. They got too much empathy. They actually feel the pain of the prospect more than the actual desire to win. So having too much empathy, people will walk all over you. Having too much ego, you're seen as arrogant. A superstar has a desire to connect with customers, has a sincere desire to connect with other people, and that comes through. If you care for someone and you know that your products or services enhances theirs, you're actually doing them a favor. They just don't know about it. So when somebody rejects you, it's just because they don't know enough about you, and finally they don't trust you. So work on the empathy part, but always go back to the ego part. Because if the guy says, or the lady says, or the couple say, I'm thinking about it, and you say, how do I spell your surname on this order form? Because most people need leaderships, and that's what ego does. Ego needs somebody to go over and just sign on the dotted line. Okay. Superstars have ambition. They want to come into your organization and they want to do better. They want to aspire. They want to become the manager. What you'll find is that most organizations fear that. They think, oh, he's too ambitious. What happens with superstars, and I would if I was in an organization, I'll go in, I'll fix things. I'll come to the owners, I'll come to the managers, and I'll say, hey, I see some processes in your organization are taking far too long. And what you need to do is have an organization where you embrace people who come into you with solutions and not problems. Make sure that you start training people when they come to you with an issue and a challenge. You send them back and say, give me two possible solutions to these problems. So bring a culture in your organization whereby people are looking at solutions rather than problems. And what you'll find is superstars have that within. They're always looking at a shorter cut, a better cut, and better way for you and your clients and your processes. So when you're looking at hiring a superstar, this is good for people who actually want to be superstars as well. So this is just for employers. What we do is we place an advert based on emotions, not on CVs. Do not, when you're looking for when you're looking for superstars, never ever look at CVs, because their CV doesn't show a steady progression of growth, or they don't tend to be in a similar industry. If you look at my CV, I've sold computers, phones, health, I've been in the health industry, you name it, I've done it, okay? But in every single industry that I've been in, I've succeeded. So would you hire me? Absolutely, but most people won't. They look at my CV and they think, oh, this guy jumps from job to job. And also, we know most CVs are lies. I've never ever seen a CV where the guy says, I actually got fired from this place because I had my hand in the till. So why do we pay attention to CVs, which is skill-based and not emotional-based? So I never ever look at CVs when it comes to hiring superstars. So during the interview process, challenge people, challenge them. In an interview, you are the product. People tend to forget that and they don't want to hurt their feelings. So what I do is I actually build connection. I get people to share my vision with the company. I get to know them. Then I challenge them. I ask them tough questions. One of the things I actually say to people is, when you come to see me, bring 5 questions that you would like me to ask you. Building a relationship is about connecting with people. And how you connect people is by asking good questions. A salesperson does more asking questions than talking. So you ask a good questions and you listen, and your next question should be relevant to the previous question you asked. So one of the things that I say to my interviewees is bring 5 questions that you would like me to ask you. And you look at those questions and the quality of the questions they come out with, and that will lead to the effect of that, the quality of relationships they're going to build with your prospects. Right, moving on to the no-nos. Also, I always reject my interviewees. It's incredible how many people say that they're superstar salespeople, and I say to them, you haven't got a job, and just get up and walk out. On an average process in sales, you get 7 to 8 rejections. So your superstars relentlessly sit and reassure you that they're the right people you're looking for, or find out why you're not making a decision, or why you're thinking of hiring somebody else. The no-nos. These are for the people who are looking for jobs. And the first things, and it's really, really sensitive towards me, because these are little triggers that highlight to me that you're going to have problems later on when you actually employ someone. Never ever, if somebody is ever late, these are, I call them no-nos. These are massive signs coming towards me saying, don't hire this person. And I say this to my clients. What often happens is the prospect comes in late, the interviewee comes in late and starts justifying why they're late. There was an accident, there was traffic, the bus was late. And these people, if they're going to be late on an interview, they will always make excuses for not delivering. So no matter what their excuses are, we'd reject them, even if they're going to be late for 1 minute, unless they've actually phoned us up 20 minutes before. Because it's also disrespectful. You set the time aside to meet them and they turn up late. And it's incredible how many people get totally pissed off with us when we reject them and say, no, you were late. We had an appointment at 10 and you turn up at 10:15. It's unacceptable. And remember, they are the product. They're going to do this to you and your products when they're in the marketplace if you recruit them. So it's definitely no-no. If the conversation is about the basic salary, I'm looking for people who looking for opportunities in life. I'm not looking for somebody who wants to come for me and have a steady life. I want somebody to come in and say, okay, this is what I need to pay the bills. This is what I need to have to maintain my lifestyle. But what's the opportunities I'm going to get? What am I going to learn in your organization? So the moment you're having a conversation about what's my basic salary, that's the time, that's a no-no, and you just don't want to hire the person. If the prospect or if the interviewee telephones you 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before and asks for directions, okay? So if they phone to ask for directions, I don't employ them. Why is that? Because they couldn't be bothered doing some research. They couldn't be bothered going to my website, checking out the direction. If it was me, I would have got there the day before, checked out the route, know exactly where they were, and make sure I turn up 5 minutes before. Not half an hour before. Some people turn up an hour before the interview. Shows signs of desperation. So what I would do, I would treat everybody like how I would do things myself. If they're phoning up last minute, just before they start telling the taxi driver or they don't know how to get to your office, you do not want to hire them, because they're coming in totally lack of preparation. And these are the skills that you want to have in your organization. Our receptionist is trained and skilled to monitor the behavior of the interviewees at reception. So if they're sitting there on their mobile phones while they're waiting for you, we don't recruit them. You know why? Because they lack focus due to being on their mobile phone. If you're hiring a superstar and they're just about to go into the ring for a world championship, or they're Olympic sprinters, do you ever, or tennis players, or world ranked golfers, do you ever see them 2 minutes before going into the game on their mobile phones chatting to people? No, you need to be focused, you need to be at your best. And if people aren't the best on selling themselves for an interview, we do not hire them. What about people who are insecure? Somebody who doesn't have much belief in themselves. So when I said to them, how about you wanting to earn $250,000 this year? And they fall apart, okay? And they can't see themselves as successful people, or they belittle themselves, right? If they can't sell themselves, if they're insecure about themselves, how are they going to be secure about your products or services? Although you're going to have lots of empathy, you want to give them a hug and look after them and make them a cup of tea and make them feel good, but don't hire insecure people. Sometimes it's good to actually hire arrogancy, a little bit of arrogance, people who are confident and they know they're going to turn your business around. I like that. So people, you pull your own egos aside. You want people who actually come into your organization and take it by storm. You want people to rock your systems, and you want people who actually make more money than you do, because if you have 5 of those, you're going to make money than ever before. So put your egos aside, don't hire insecure people, and look for a little bit of arrogance when it comes to superstars. They don't ask good questions. It's amazing how many people sit in front of me and my managers who actually have no idea how to build rapport. They don't know how to ask good questions. And good questions are open-ended questions like, what made you, what, which, how, when? What made you, what was your vision when you started this company? You know, how happy are you with this? Not like, what are your opening hours? Yes? How many holidays do we get a year? These are bad questions, and it's amazing. Do you provide private health? Yes? It's incredible how many people go into an organization, it's like they're doing you a favor to work for you. So when you're looking for a job, what you should be looking at is offering value. A massive coach of mine, somebody I respect and admire very much, a guy called Jim Rohn, he actually says that, you know, in McDonald's, you get paid $10 an hour. And if you whistle, you get paid $10.50 an hour. That's the most you're going to get. But here's the thing, you don't bring much value. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of McDonald's employees who are on $10 an hour. But there's only one CEO who's on $1 million a year. So make his speak. Why? Because he actually offers value. So when you're going for an interview, evaluate how you're going to bring value to the organization, not know what's in it for yourself. So I hope you found this valuable. I prepared this last night, and I was more nervous about the technical side of things because normally I have my team here. Last week I had my son, but today I'm actually all alone. I've sellotaped this tripod because last week the phone kept falling off. So I was quite nervous about this live event, and I think I've done okay, and I'm hoping by the messages that you found this positive. I'm going to do another one next week and go into more detailed stuff about running businesses and maybe even as sales and marketing goes. So if you want to be a superstar, take notes, read this, constant growing, invest in yourself. And if you're looking at hiring superstars, please, please, please don't lower your values. What happens is the noise out there distracts you from where you want to be in life, because the noise out there isn't often positive. It's about negative, it's about things are going to be for the worse. You have a fire inside you. Don't die with that fire burning inside you. Don't die with music inside you. Listen to your own music. Listen to your own spark. Light up the world with positivity and energy. Have tons of abundance. This is the time to focus on yourself, on your growth. Put your ego aside. As human beings, we're the only beings on nature that we have limitless growth. You know, if you have a tree, there's only so much growth. You have dogs, cats, if you feed them well, look after them, there's only so much growth. We have the power of choice. Make those right decisions, right choices right now. When you're spending some time, quality time by yourself, invest in yourself. Watch Netflix. You know, you listen to these motivational speakers that say, invest, invest, invest. You know, have a life. Life is about balance. Enjoy yourself. Spend time, quality time with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, because we'll never get them back. And I love you very much. I look forward to your feedback, and I'll see you all next Monday, same time. Much love.